Hey, you guys. So, I want to talk about how you create a fitness routine for the aging woman. I don't even know. That kind of sounds sort of weird. But if you're like perimenopause, you're in your 40s, 50s, and you're like, what I did when I was in my 20s isn't working for me anymore, then you really want to watch this video because we're going to talk about why that may be and what you should be considering when creating a fitness routine for you at any stage. All right, to balance your hormones and longevity. All right. So I'm Dr. Nicole Peoples, a board certified physician in internal medicine. I specialize in functional medicine or lifestyle medicine, and I help women live 10 years longer, feel 10 years younger through lifestyle and hormone balancing. I always get it mixed up. All right. So let's talk fitness. So there are 5 parts of fitness. So if you are creating a fitness routine, you want to think about all 5 of these, particularly if you're concerned about longevity and being able to have fitness do for you what all the amazing things that fitness does for you. Keep in mind that fitness is the most powerful drug there ever was. There is nothing on the planet that is more effective in improving your health than fitness. There just isn't. So if I could pack it into a drug and give it to people, I would, but this is the best I can do. So let's talk about those 5 areas. So the first one is just generalized movement, and I'll explain more later. Second is flexibility. Third is balance. Fourth is strength. And fifth is cardio. I'll talk about cardio in a different video, but everybody talks about cardio. Again, I'm not a fitness trainer, so I'm not going to be going with you like the types of movements you should be doing. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how do you think about these movements, your fitness. How do you create a balanced routine at any age? All right, so let's start with fitness and get it out of the or cardio and get it out of the way. So cardio is the one that's been pushed so much. Everybody talks about cardio as if it is the only form of physical fitness. And although it is important, it is, I think we're overdoing it with the cardio. So your body doesn't know whether or not you're being chased by a lion or if you're running on a treadmill, and it's stressful to the body. And if you're a woman and you're going through perimenopause, you're already stressed. And so it's important that you know how to use fitness to your advantage as a rather than a way of like burning you out. And so you also want to make sure that it's increasing your cardiorespiratory fitness, which is the goal of cardio, and whether or not what you're doing is effective. I'll talk about that in a different video, but the gist of it is that you want to limit your cardio. You want to make sure that when you're creating a prescription for fitness, that cardio is a part of it, maybe 2, maybe 3 days a week, but and it's a part of your routine, but isn't all that you do, right? So the biggest thing that I think a lot of people leave out is generalized movement. This is better than running on a treadmill all day long. So generalized movement, and I'm sure there's a better term for it, but it's the only one I can come up with right now. I oftentimes use the word joyful movement, but it's this idea that you move all day. It is better for your health to move all day than to exercise for an hour and then sit for the rest of the day. And so many of us are sedentary. We're just not moving. We're not even intentionally not moving. It's just we're so used to that being our culture where we sit down at a desk like I am right now, and then I spend my whole day here except when I have to go to the bathroom. So you'll even notice this on like watches and things. They're like these little reminders. You need to get up and move. It's because we know from a medical standpoint that movement is essential. So these are things that you can just try to think about. Like, how often am I moving? Can I set my alarm so that every hour I get up for about 5 minutes? Can I figure out, are there more ways to incorporate movement into my day? Can I take the stairs? Can I walk for 5 or 10 minutes? And again, these don't have to be these big, intense workouts. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about generalized movement, just fidgeting, bouncing, that, you could get I usually sit on a bouncy ball, all right, when I'm at my desk, because it just increases my movement. I'm a person who talks with my hands. This is just increasing my movement. Again, this is not cardio. This is just generalized movement. It's a huge part of your fitness regimen. And if you haven't thought about it, you need to start incorporating more movement into your day. All right, so let's talk flexibility and balance. Okay, these are 2 separate things, but I'm gonna put them together because usually you can get them both at the same time if you are choosing the right exercises. So incorporate it in your fitness routine. You want to choose some activities that challenge your balance and that encourage your flexibility. So for me, I love yoga. And so I get a lot of flexibility and balance through that activity. Before I did yoga, I was doing dance. Again, flexibility and balance. Pilates, calisthenic exercises, any kind of functional movements, right, will oftentimes challenge your balance and flexibility. You can even incorporate this into your weight training or into your cardio, right? You can encourage movements that challenge your flexibility as well as your balance. You can lift weights on one foot. You can do all kinds of things, right? Again, find a good personal trainer to give you some options, but make sure that whatever fitness routine you're doing, that you are challenging your flexibility and balance. Now, why is this so important to your health, and particularly as women? Because of falls. So one of the things that you're probably not thinking about now, if you aren't in your 70s or 60s, are falling. Falls are something that it really raises your risk of mortality or death as you get older. And so the more flexible you are, the more balance trained you are, the less likely you will fall as you get older. Our balance norm can typically be hindered as we get older. So we have to train. We have to train our bodies to not decline in those areas. So flexibility and balance are super important. All right. So the last one is probably, I don't want to say it's the most important. I think the most important is movement. But just as important, particularly for women, is strength training. This isn't to become a bodybuilder. This is about maintaining muscle mass. So you're going to lose muscle mass as you get older. That's just a natural part of aging unless you counterbalance it or counteract it. And the only way for you to do that is to continue to challenge those muscles with strength training. So when you're creating a fitness routine, you want to ensure that you're doing some weight training. So personal example, I really do enjoy yoga. I go to yoga all the time, but I was noticing that I wasn't building any muscle. I was in fact losing muscle mass. And I was trying to incorporate more and more push-ups or chaturangas in my practice, but it really wasn't doing anything. I really literally had to add in weights to actually build my muscle mass back up. And I'm honestly still on that journey. So it's really important that you're intentional about each one of these pieces. And when you're thinking about your fitness routine, are you incorporating it, right? So the other thing I really enjoy doing is Peloton. So I'm constantly on the bike, but that doesn't challenge my flexibility or my balance. It sometimes does get some cardio in there, but I don't really use the Peloton for cardio. I use it a lot for strength. So I can get some of my strength from there, but I, as a female whose testosterone levels have been declining, have noticed a loss of muscle mass even with me doing the Peloton. So it's important that I'm intentional about incorporating strength training into the regimen. So I hope this helps you when you're trying to figure out what is the best exercise for me. It somehow has to incorporate all 5 of these areas. If you're choosing a fitness instructor, make sure that they also are recognizing that this is how they need to help you train. And if you're developing your own fitness regimen, just think about, am I getting movement, flexibility, balance, strength, and cardio? All right, you guys, I hope this helps. Talk to you in the next video.